Morning. Good morning, Cristal, Javiera, Lucas. Long time no see. Um, I hope you're great after this recess week. In my case, I've been working hard, really hard, and to finish the semester. But anyway, I can say that I feel, what can I say? I feel destroyed inside. But anyway, uh, we got 2 weeks left, I think, to end the semester. And this week going to be in this case the last regarding activities, right? Tomorrow I'm going to open the grammar test. So I'm going to show you immediately the contents that we're going to deal with tomorrow. Okay, here we go. Good. You can see here, for example, that all this column, the grammar column in this case, that's going to be the pretty much the contents. Like I'm going to create the test based on this in this case list of contents, right? Primary verbs, imperatives, and all this section, right? I'm going to include vocabulary, as I told you last time, but it's going to be like inside the sentences. You know, say I'm not going to ask you about specific, you know, um, meaning of or lists of vocabulary. It's going to be like an integrative part of the exercise. What else? Let me show you something so that you can understand what I'm gonna do. This tool here is the test, test tool for designing, in this case, quizzes and everything. So I'm going to be creating a test today, like in the afternoon. And I'm going to open the test tomorrow morning. And I think I'm going to open it like right after the class. And I'm going to give you like at least 48 hours, maybe, yeah, 48 hours to answer the test, right? I'm going to send you, emails for you and also texts to remind you about the test. If you know any of your classmates which are not maybe like aware of the test, I will ask you to tell them, to let them know. So but this test, in this case tool, is kind of easy to use in this case. But I want to show you, the types of items that I can create in this case, so that you can know, it's going to be pretty much like open questions in this case, sometimes closed questions, multiple choice and stuff like that. So this is going to be applied test, applied grammar test. There you go. Well, easy stuff, agregar pregunta, and then we got alternatives. Yeah, instructions, which is pretty much like text and everything, like reading comprehension, stuff like that. I can add any sort of texting here, or text here. Desarrollo, which is like open answers, tablas, and multiple choice in this case. All right, yeah. Clicking the boxes, multiple. It's like marking more than one answer. So I'm gonna be playing with this stuff, like probably I'm gonna ask you around, I don't know, 15 questions. Let me check out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's going to be like a little more of 15, and I think 20, maybe 20 questions. But it's going to be around the content, for example, one exercise or question about still, yet, already, one question about future perfect or future perfect continuous and stuff like that. Yeah. And the vocabulary, is going to be inside the sentences. Okay. I think that 48 hours is okay in the sense that you can, if you want to use any sort of online dictionary and stuff like that, you're going to have time to use it, right? And what else? If you need more time, let's say that somebody, for example, has any problem with the internet connection, maybe you need, or you got problems with your tablet or cell phone and stuff like that, let me know. Text me, for example, and tell me, you know what, I can't take the test uh, today or tomorrow. So maybe you can give me one more day so I can have internet and stuff like that. Just let me know, and I can extend, in this case, uh, the deadline, right? And I don't know if you got any questions, guys, about the test tomorrow. Anything you'd like to know? Nothing in special. All right, so let's start the review until 9:30. We're gonna be reviewing quickly the different contents for tomorrow. So first is primary verbs in this case, and I'm studying. I'm gonna show you from the first, in this case, a slide or presentation, which is here on UCampus. Here. Let me out. I was only showing the people. Yeah, there you go. Voy al tiro al chat. Creo que con todo lo que dijo ahora me quedó más claro. Ah, bueno. That's the idea. Oh, si supieran el nivel de cansancio extremo que tengo, nada, no se muere, pero sí estoy muy cansado. Es que no quiero pagar. Quiero que todo termine. De bajarme de esto. En fin. Let me see. Primary verbs. Here we go. El problema es que he estado viendo, yo trabajo en dos partes, entonces en la autónoma tiene heavy porque tengo dos seminarios de grado, o sea, dos tesis de pregrado que supervisar, ¿cachai? Recién terminamos una hora a las 3 de la mañana y me queda terminarla con el otro grupo, la otra tesis. Tienen que presentarla y defenderla. And it's a lot of work. And also I've been supervising two groups of internships, como supervisando dos grupos de práctica profesional, la de quinto año, ¿cachai? Entonces, it's a lot of work. Y haciendo un curso de FCE, con los mismos cabros de la puta autónoma, más las 3 cátedras del PEDA, más otras clases particulares y proyectos personales, entonces como, ya quiero bajar. Pero nos quedan 2 semanas. Pero es para volverse loco. Anyway. Aunque se ve. No es que yo quiera dar lástima, pero igual doy lástima. Okie dokie. Entonces, what is a primary verb in this case? A primary verb is a group of verbs in this case, which are important in English in the construction of the aspect of, in this case, of the tenses, let's say. The progressive, for example, or continuous, que es lo mismo. The perfect, in this case, aspect, que sería, por ejemplo, present perfect, past perfect, ya, y las mezclas o las combinaciones que son perfect continuous, etc. The voice, which is passive and active, and the forms in this case, like negative, interrogative, emphatic, que sería, por ejemplo, cuando yo agrego el do y el das para cualquier oración, ¿cierto? And also primary verbs in this case are be, have, and do. These are the primary verbs, right? Sometimes they work as auxiliary verbs, right? But the primary and auxiliary are not exactly the same because one belongs to the other category, right? Okay, also, this again. There are two types of auxiliary verbs, primary and modal, right? Primary verbs, como dice recién, ¿cierto? Be, have, and do, right? The modal verbs, you already know. The modal verbs, you know, should, could, and must, etc., right? So we can say that auxiliary verbs is pretty much the umbrella term, or the mother from which, in this case, stems two more categories, primary and modal. Entonces, la categoría madre, ¿cierto? Mother category is auxiliary verb. Y de ahí, ¿cierto? Emergen dos que son los primary y los modal verbs. Okay? Entonces, modal verbs and primary verbs, they belong to the family of auxiliary verbs, right? So be, have, and do in this case can be used in different, in this case, tenses and aspects. Yeah, you know that the tense is in this case, for example, present, past, future, right? But the aspect is different because the aspect is pretty much the perfect aspect and also the progressive or continuous aspect. Okay. Como había dicho, perfect aspect tiene que ver justamente con el uso del have y el has. Y están todos los tenses que son present perfect simple, present perfect continuous, past perfect simple, past perfect continuous, future perfect también, etc. El otro aspecto es el continuous, que es, puede ser present continuous, past continuous, ya, y las combinaciones como past perfect continuous y todo eso, right? So, he's running in this case, you see simple present, present continuous in this case. You have the subject, you have the primary verb is, plus the gerund, or también conocido como, en este caso, el present participle o el ing. Es lo mismo, ¿cierto? El running se le conoce como present participle or gerund or verb plus ing. In this case, the aspect is continuous, okay? And the tense is present continuous or progressive, es lo mismo, yeah? Have you spent all your money in this case? You can see this is present perfect, simple, right? You got the primary verb, which is have, subject, and the past participle, right? What else? The emphatic use in this case of do, which is in this case the primary verb. Es an auxiliary verb too, porque siempre le llamamos el auxiliar, porque viene de la familia de auxiliary verbs, pero específicamente es un also primary verb, right? No así con could or should, because could and should are, in this case, modal verbs. Yeah, and they're also considered auxiliary verbs. Yeah, but not primary. They don't belong to that category, right? What else? So I do want to see you is pretty much the emphatic use of the primary verb do. I did not go to school yesterday. Again, got the, in this case, the primary verb, which is did, do in the past. You know that. Uno se confunda cuando uno dice I did, yo digo did, okay, that's a primary verb. Y uno dice, pero también auxiliary. Yes, it is an auxiliary verb, but the subcategory, you know, the more specific category is primary, okay? Ya, porque de ahí si no tendría que ser un modal, pero no es un modal. What else? The primary verbs can also act as main verbs. Sí, esa es la otra particularidad de el primary verb, ¿cierto? He is tall, she has a new car, which is different. Y eso es lo que, esta es la principal diferencia. The main difference with the modal verb is that in this case, if you say he should, and that's it. Entonces, por eso uno dice, modal verb needs another verb, right? That's why they're called modal and also auxiliary, but they're not main because they need something else. They need an infinitive form. Siempre el modal verb va a ir acompañado de un infinitive al lado, because otherwise it doesn't make sense, you know. Unless it is could, pero could, you know, it can work in this case as in the past form, but also the modal verb, which is for the future possible. Entonces depende del contexto. O sea, el could puede ser él podía o ella podía. She could, for example, swim very well. Eso es en pasado, pero si yo digo she could go tomorrow, en ese caso, digamos, está funcionando como un modal verb, pero de futuro. Posible, right? Possible future or conditional. ¿Ya? Entonces, be careful with that time, right? Aunque igual pueden ir a veces, como cuando van en respuesta corta, uno dice he could o she could. Ya, pero siempre una respuesta que va asociada a un diálogo o un discurso previo. No llegar y tirarla así nomás porque si no, no tiene sentido. Good. Any questions so far? So far, so good. All right. Let's move on then. Imperative verbs. It's the second in this case. Content. I think it's easy for you. Easy stuff. But we got different uses for the imperative verbs, right? So we're gonna revise quickly the different uses, which is positive imperatives and negative imperatives in this case. The positive imperatives are in this case used to address a subject o dirigirse al sujeto, ¿cierto? Normally a second person singular or second person plural. Dirigido a ti o a ustedes, right? Like park your car here, please. And the negative imperatives is pretty much the same thing, but normally is to forbid or prohibit something, like don't park your car here, right? So we can also use do or just in this case the beginning of the sentence, or the word please to the conclusion. Yeah, when we use do or just, we are putting like more emphasis. Okay, it's not that we can just do all the time with imperatives, because it has a specific purpose. You can say sit down please, if you want to like put more emphasis or insist, say do sit down please. You know, it's like maybe something is scary, but it's like something like that. What else? Please is used to soften the imperative, absolutely, because you can't go like pushing people and using imperative all the time, like giving orders to everybody, you know. So makes imperative, yeah, please makes imperative sentence more polite or conversation. Yeah, absolutely. And imperatives would do, for example, do it, please do it. Cuando estás solito, ¿cierto? Hazlo. But when I combine it with more verbs, para darle énfasis a ese verbo, es como el do sit there, come here, like do come here. Yeah, es raro si no hay una construcción que sea muy común. Yeah. Normalmente no dice come here, please. What else? Imperatives with let. Yeah, this one is famous because it's like let it be, let me go, you know. We use let to form first person and third person imperatives. Yep. Yep, let me go, let it be. Let's go, which is let us. So I can say normally let me, or let with different object pronouns, you know, let her go, let him, like, I don't know, let him sleep, déjalo que duerma, let him sleep, and stuff like that. And yeah, let us go, let us come, let us eat, right? But normally we use the contracted form, y ya como let's go, let's eat, let's dance, etc. Right? But that's imperative, actually. What else? Also, well, imperative sentences are used to command people, you know, to do something. It depends also on the intonation, right? It's not something that depends exclusively on the grammar, the form. It depends on the voice inflection, you know, and the pragmatic aspects, you know. So please bring the pizza to the table. Yeah. Mom, please tie my shoes. So always we put please so that we can soften, you know, the phrase. Y la voz también tiene que ver. Mom, please tie my shoes. Open your mouth, please. Do 10 push-ups and 20 jumping jacks. And also normally when people are they are in the army and stuff like that, you know, they receive orders all day, all the time, and they don't say please, right? Do this and do that, etc. Do all, yeah, and also your mom and dad. For example, I am a dad, and I also use imperative forms to tell my daughter to do your homework. I start with please, of course. Do your homework, please. And stuff like that. Yeah, do all your homework before you go out to play. Yeah, that's typical. Good. Any questions about the use of imperatives in general? No questions about the imperatives? We can use it so for polite requests, of course, for giving advice, right? of giving orders, of course, but it's not only to give orders. It's also to suggest things like let's eat pizza, for example. If we use it with let's eat pizza, guys. So it depends on how you use it, right? Or let's do this, let's do this. It's not necessarily to, in this case, push people or force people to do something. If there are no questions, the use of don't, of course. Don't is, in this case, can be a piece of advice, for example. Don't do that, please. Or to give a set of instructions, for example. Do not, for example, shake before use, or cuando positivo, shake it before use, or do not shake it because it may explode, something like that. All right. Todo bien, dice la Cristal. Very good, no problem. And what else? What is the next content? Wow, it's 9:25. Time flies. ¿Qué más nos toca ver en este caso? Hold on. Should have, might have, direct and ending direct questions. Yeah, there you go. Here. Let's talk about the modal verbs, but with the perfect form in this case. We were talking about then the modal verbs. They belong to the group of, in this case, auxiliary verbs. And the perfect form or perfect aspect in this case is built with have. Have can be called, in this case, auxiliary verb or a primary verb. Both are correct, right? Now, in this case, we're going to deal with the auxiliary aspect or the auxiliary use of have. And when we combine, in this case, a modal verb plus the auxiliary verb have, we have this perfect form, perfect aspect of the conditional, in this case, forms. So must have, might have or may have, could have, couldn't have, would have, wouldn't have, should have or ought to have, shouldn't have, and needn't have. All right. And let's talk about the uses in this case of these structures, these combinations. Must have is, in this case, it expresses certainty that something was true. Normally we talk about, in this case, past, the past tense, so past sense, right? We're not talking about the present, we're talking about the past. It might have some impact, for example. Podría tener un impacto, but we're always talking about the past. A guess about a past action, for example. May have, might have, could have. Ability to do something in the past, which in the end wasn't done. I remember a lot of songs, like, for example, but old songs anyway. It Must Have Been Love, for example, by Roxette. It Must Have Been Love. Or, for example, Could Have Lied by Red Hot Chili Peppers. But always regretting the past. That's pretty much the sense, idea. Couldn't have certainty that something didn't happen. It couldn't have happened. What else? Would have desired to do something in the past, which in fact couldn't be done. Right? It would have been beautiful. It would have been easier. but it wasn't. Should have or ought to have is criticism or regret after an event. It should have, in this case, yeah, criticize, something that didn't happen as expected, as we expected. Shouldn't have criticism or regret after an event, and como no, esto debería haber sido así, o no debería haber sido tal forma. Didn't have an unnecessary past action, like I'm trying to think about examples, pero viene por cosas estúpidas a mi mente, así como, I don't know, Thanos shouldn't have killed half of the universe. No había más targets. Yeah, didn't have an unnecessary past action, like, I don't know, Captain America didn't have to travel or to get old with her lady, his lady. Pero a lo mejor sí debería, haberlo hecho, and stuff like that. An unnecessary past action in this case. Good. So let's check out, in this case, more cases, more examples. I could have gone to Africa when I was 16, but I didn't go. It's always like, but I didn't do it. He couldn't have gone to school without his lunch. Yeah, in this case, it's not possible. What else? Would have, wouldn't have. I would have bought the dress if I'd had enough money. Absolutely, regretting about something that couldn't happen. I wouldn't have in this case. Yeah, it's different if I use wouldn't have. I wouldn't have bought the dress. I wouldn't have bought the dress. All right, yeah, it's the contrary. I wouldn't have bought the dress if I, for example, hadn't had. So hay que cambiarlo, ¿cierto? En el sentido. If I hadn't had enough money, I wouldn't have bought the dress, of course. Might have, in this case, says I might have gone to the party if I hadn't had something to do. Right. Como podría haber ido a la fiesta si no hubiera tenido tanto que hacer. And so on. For example, shouldn't have gone to the bank earlier. No, he should have gone to the bank earlier. He knew he had to pay the bill today. Debería ir, pero no fue. I may have left it at home, but I'm not sure. Lo pude haber dejado en la casa, but I'm not sure. And I must have been really drunk last night because I don't remember much. Yeah. I relate. I can relate. All right, guys. Hold on. Any questions about the perfect models in this case? Is it clear? The use of modal verbs and perfect models. It's not only modal, but it's perfect models. Not for the moment. All right. Thank you, Karen. So if you guys want to practice with this, for example, structures, I recommend opening, of course, the presentation, which is in this case in the list here of contents right here, and then you got links like inside the presentations, but also you got more links here in the practice section, where it says activities, quizzes, and exercises. You go here, you got exercises with primary auxiliary verbs, exercises with imperatives, also vocabulary exercises if you want, you know, moods and emotions, feelings and emotions. I don't see perfect model. I think I'm going to upload exercises with perfect models because I don't see them here. Yeah. What else? Well, in the content section, there are here videos, past or perfect models, past models in this case. Right, but I'm still gonna be uploading like more exercises for you to practice for tomorrow. Entonces, si no lo subo, acuérdenme, si quieren practicar con past models, tienen también aquí, por ejemplo, correlative conjunctions in this case, or the use of unless, provided that, etc. Yeah, but I'm gonna be uploading anyway more stuff, updating. Voy a actualizar esta sección. If you wanna practice or study today, so that you can have the specific, in this case, exercises for every piece of content. Yeah. So voy a estar actualizando y subiendo ejercicios sobre direct and indirect questions, correlative coordinators, unless, as long as, phrasal verbs, passives, and stuff like that. Lo más probable es que yo saque ejercicios de todos los ejemplos que yo veo. Voy a ir sacando cosas, ¿cachai? Como ya este me sirve, pues lo tiro a la prueba. Este otro también me sirve, pues lo tiro a la prueba. Right? And stuff like that. Any questions, guys? Any comments? No big deal. Me gusta mi fondo. Mañana la prueba. Yes, tomorrow. As I told you, I think I'm going to open the quiz tomorrow after the class, like 9:30, 10 a.m. Les voy a mandar un correo también, ¿cierto? O un text message como ya cabres, está ready to go. Como les digo, estoy pensando en darle 48 hours, pero si alguien tiene algún drama, me dice y lo aumentamos, the number of hours. Ya, por ejemplo, I open it tomorrow y lo cierro el viernes. Ya, but let me know. Ya, porque yo le voy a dar 48 hours. All right. Have a great day. Sorry por tampoco, la verdad que estoy súper reventated. Yo había pensado tenía toda la idea de grabar un video, así como resumen de todo, y no, me comí en la máquina. No pude, me siento un fracasado. Anyway, the worst teacher ever.
No se preocupe.
Sí, pero está bien.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias por el repaso que nos hizo ahora.
All right. No, you're welcome. Mañana seguimos repasando. Y eso, pues, chiques. Ya. Cualquier cosa que necesiten para la prueba, me avisan porque me textan.
Ya, profe, gracias.
No, profe, que esté bien.
Sí.
Have a great day. See you. Take care.
Bye.